Let's give you the three finalists, and we start with Jackson Chourio of the Milwaukee Brewers, second among National League rookies in runs and RBIs, tied for second in home runs with 21, third in hits, youngest player to record a 20-plus homer season, 20-plus stolen base season in a season. He's the youngest player to do that. He was only 20 years, 185 days old. Jackson Chourio, first of three finalists. Our second finalist, Jackson Merrill, led National League rookies in F4, home runs with 24, RBIs 90, hits with 162. Oh, by the way, he was a shortstop by trade in spring training, like go grab a glove and play in center. He did that incredibly well. Jackson Merrill, with his 24 and 90 and 16 bags, is our second Rookie of the Year finalist on the National League side. And our third is the ace of the Pirates, Paul Skeens, 11-3, 1.96 ERA, a historically great rookie campaign. He had 170 strikeouts at 133 innings. He led National League rookies in ERA, opponent's average, opponent's OPS, whip, second in strikeouts. This guy was incredible.
I think Skeens, we're talking about a historically great year. And I think with the other guys, we're talking about really, really good years. My other part of this, I want to get your take on this. Skeens was able to start the year in the minor leagues with, no pressure, limited pitch counts, bring you up in May. As you mentioned, Joel, the Padres were stuck. They took a shortstop, put him in center field from day one of the season. Does that matter that a rookie is there from day one all the way through?
Yeah, it's a tough call, right? And I think it comes down to impact versus length of performance, right? And so a guy like Paul Skeens, historic performance for a shorter period of time versus what Jackson Merrill did over the course of the season and making that position change pretty substantial. And look, at a guy like Jackson Chourio, too, slow start, and then he came on like gangbusters, carrying the Brewers offensively when Christian Yelich went down. And so there's a story behind all of them. I think that it's like many other things. Impact matters if there's a different angle to it. And for the shorter performance, I think you have to be historic. And I think Skeens was pretty historic.
He was historic, but again, does narrative matter? If Shota Imanaga was born in Philadelphia, would he have been one of the three finalists here? Or does narrative play in where you feel like, oh, man, there's a lot of really good rookies. The fact that he's a little older and played at such a high league in Japan, do I leave him off my three-person ballot? I do. We all try to act like it doesn't seep in, but it certainly seeps in.
But it's baseball writers voting, and don't baseball writers like narratives?
Yes. It's interesting because the players, when they voted on the Players' Choice Award, voted for Jackson Merrill Rookie of the Year. I think you're right. The writers will lean more towards history with Skeens. We'll see. Speaking of history, we got two obvious front-runner MVP candidates, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge. Joel, how much does history matter when you're voting on the MVP award? And are we talking really historic seasons in both cases?
I do think history matters. So the first place history matters when I thought about these seasons was Shohei Ohtani guaranteed the Hall of Fame this year, right? Like, it feels like he's going to get a third MVP. That feels like he's going to get a third MVP. That feels like an over-the-top thing. Does a third 50-homer season for Judge and probably a second MVP do that? The other one, though, is I do think an historic season is why Ohtani is going to probably win the NL MVP over Francisco Lindor, right? Because we're going to ask the DH everyday player thing. The 50-50 thing is probably going to carry the day, whereas we know when he pitched, he didn't steal bases like this. So if he was playing center field or right field or first base, would he have stolen bases like this? If Francisco Lindor was a DH all year, would he have stolen 45 bases and had 35, 40 homers? So I think the history is going to get Ohtani unanimous, would be my guess. But I watch Lindor play almost every day. I don't know how you could be more valuable.
You can make a case that Ohtani's season is one of the greatest ever in the history of baseball. We're talking 50-50, 54 home runs. Look, Judge hit 58. Ohtani hit 54 home runs and stole 59 bases. And Judge, his OPS plus is the greatest ever for a right-handed hitter, right? He slugged over 700. I think Bonds did it back in 2003, 2004. And then before that was Larry Walker. If you're going to discount Bonds' performance because of ties to PEDs, Larry Walker did it in 99. He slugged 700, did Judge, 223 OPS plus. And then you're looking at Ohtani. I mean, honestly, you could make an argument that Ohtani's season was better than Judge's season when you factor in the stolen base numbers. And so I think both of them, historically, you make a case, the two best offensive seasons ever in the history of the game.
Wow. Can I ask our resident GM a question?
Yes.
If you knew everything about Ohtani's season that he just did, and you knew everything about Lindor's season, and you didn't know anything else you were putting on your roster.
Right.
And starting a team for the 2024 season, you already know what they are. Would you take what Ohtani did or what Lindor did?
So, well, I mean, there's a lot of it depends. Like, what else is my option at shortstop?
No, you don't know anything else.
I don't know anything else.
You can have that guy play every day.
I'm taking Ohtani.
Yeah.
I'm taking Ohtani.
But I think it's a tougher question.
It's a great question.
Because I think what Lindor does is invaluable. If I also want to include what he does in the clubhouse as the spokesman for the team, whereas I know I'm not getting that from Ohtani, I just feel like I think Ohtani's the MVP. It's so historic.
Yeah.
But the fact that he never steps foot in a field, and I watch Lindor save runs every day doing that, it's hard.
Taking Ohtani. It's always a good decision.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with it.
Your finalist for National League Most Valuable Player, Francisco Lindor. What an incredible run since May 18th at 108 games. He had 304, 26 home runs. Before that, was hitting under 200. Francisco Lindor in the leadoff spot became one of the best players, not just in the National League, but in all of baseball. Our second finalist for NL MVP, Shohei Ohtani. He'd be the first DH to win an MVP award, not counting the two-way seasons. He'd be the second player in Major League Baseball history to win an MVP in the American League and National League, joining Frank Robinson, who did it in 61, and then the AL in 66. Fewest games played by a position player, 0 as well, to win an MVP. Previously was Don Baylor with 97 in 1979. And our third finalist for NL MVP, Ketel Marte. He was second in the league in slugging, OPS plus, fourth in home runs with 36, the mainstay star for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let's see how their numbers stack up side by side by side. Francisco Lindor, the average doesn't stand out, but he is the captain of this team, the field general at shortstop, terrific defender and base runner. Ketel Marte, you can say the same thing for him, but Shohei Ohtani, without playing a single game in the field, who cares? He keeps rewriting the rules, the unwritten rules of baseball. I don't know if a guy can be a starting pitcher and also be a full-time DH. He proved us wrong there. I don't know if a slugger that hits 50 home runs would ever be able to steal over 50 bases. He did that as well. He is in his own category now.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of one, and there's a million ways to define that. But I've got a favorite I want to show you, okay? Because it reminds me of something maybe Babe Ruth would have done. Come with me and I'll show you. Home runs of more than 400 done. Come with me and I'll show you. Home runs of more than 450 feet. Check this out. Shohei Ohtani has more than every team that does not play at altitude. Yeah, he's got more than Judge, Stanton, and Soto combined. How does he do it? Let's look into the fact of how Shohei Ohtani is the long drive champion of Major League Baseball. Because when you go to a Dodgers game, folks, it doesn't matter where you're sitting, bring your baseball glove. Yeah, even if you're sitting all the way up there, you might get a baseball hit by Shohei Ohtani, 461. That's not even his best bolt. Shohei Ohtani, watch outfielders here. They start out thinking they've got a beat on the baseball. What does that tell you? It tells you he has so much backspin, that ball just keeps carrying and carrying and carrying. There's nobody in baseball who can have the backspin like Shohei Ohtani does, to have this much carry. 473. You want to see his best bolt? Yeah, it happened in Colorado. I don't care. This is in the air a very long time, into the forest in Colorado. How does he do it? I think the key to Shohei Ohtani is the fastest hips in baseball. If we look over here, you see when his loads, his front hip actually turns away from the baseball, then it starts to spin away. And there's so much force coming to his front side that front foot comes off the ground where he's on his heel and he finishes high. Think about extension. Most power hitters think about that bottom hand. He uses two hands for extension like another lefty who hits the ball a mile. Yeah, Phil Mickelson. That's right. I used a golfer as my comp for Shohei Ohtani because what he's doing is it looks like he's hitting Titleists, not baseball. There's nobody like Shohei Ohtani. When he's hitting more home runs than teams at 450 feet, He's the unicorn.
I almost feel like he wants to go 60-60. Like, that's his next goal.
What's next, right?
I mean, yeah, it's how special he is. There are fan bases, there are players that are not happy after watching this 2-hour show because they did not make the cut to be one of the finalists for their respective award. I hate using the word snub, but it is what it is, okay? So I'm going to give you an example. I want you guys to come up with somebody that's probably very disgruntled right now. I feel for Cleveland fans and Jose Ramirez. That team, Ronnie, give me your guy.
Shota Imanaga.
Ooh, okay.
When I think of what he did for the Chicago Cubs this year, if you watched him early in the year, he was must-see TV. The assortment of pitches he had, his ability to throw it in the strike zone, started 29 times for the Cubs. They were 23-6 in his games, 60-73 and all the other starts. And he led the rookies in the National League in wins and
ご視聴
strikeouts.
ありがとうございました。チャンネル登録と高評価よろしくお願いします。